Today, we are going to look closely at the Every Child Ready social and emotional learning competencies. These are our objectives. Please take a moment to read them. We are going to develop a shared understanding of the purpose of Every Child Ready social emotional learning competencies, discuss the importance of using a calming space, and examine an Every Child Ready social emotional learning lesson. These are the 7 Every Child Ready guiding principles. Today we will focus on nurturing and balance as we identify, learn, and practice strategies to support children's development across social emotional, physical, and cognitive development, which contribute to children's positive school experiences and overall well-being. These are the 7 social and emotional competencies that are detailed in the Every Child Ready standards. ECR's 7 social and emotional competencies are comprehensive and support students across social emotional domains. ECR's social emotional competencies include emotional awareness, social behavior competence, and self-regulation skills. Additionally, at Every Child Ready, we have very intentionally written SAL standards that align with CASEL's 5 core competencies. Overall, the Every Child Ready social emotional competencies align with the most up-to-date research on what is known of children's social emotional learning and development. Now, let's discuss an ECR SEL competency, emotional regulation and impulse control, or calming down. What exactly do you think a child needs to know to effectively calm down? Let's think. At the most foundational level, a child must be able to recognize and describe emotions. For example, a child must recognize that I feel sad or I feel angry. Next, the child must demonstrate a certain level of impulse control to regulate their emotions. Instead of tantruming, the child may seek out adult support or visit the classroom's calming space when they're upset. Following this, the child must be able to effectively employ calming and self-soothing strategies. A child's preferred calming technique may be to shake a glitter bottle, draw in a journal, or squeeze a soft toy. That's a lot of knowledge for the seemingly simple task of calming down. It's important to emphasize that as with other skill sets, expectations for social emotional competencies must be expectations that are age appropriate to the grade level and individually appropriate to the child. We appreciate that each child is unique and developing at their own pace. In ECR, there are also explicit and varied instructional opportunities for students to learn how to calm down. Here are a few examples from Units 1 and 2. Emotional awareness and understanding. During social emotional learning groups, students can play a spinner game to practice identifying feelings. Another one is impulse control. During read aloud, students read the book Hands Are Not for Hitting. Throughout the day and during recess, centers, and meal times, teachers can also remind students of these impulse control techniques. During a Unit 2 morning meeting, students get to create glitter bottles and practice using the calm down lesson to regulate their emotions and behaviors. They will also continue to learn more about calming strategies by reading the Every Child Ready book, the Calm Body book. In addition to lessons, Every Child Ready provides guidance on creating a calming space in each pre-kindergarten classroom. A calming space provides children with a comfortable, semi-private place in the classroom to identify and talk about emotions with a familiar adult, practice managing strong behaviors and emotions with calming strategies, and relax their bodies to de-escalate emotions. That means that calming spaces are not timeout spots. Let's talk more about how to set up a calming space in your classroom. First, a major aspect of safety is making sure that the calming space is large enough for the child and an adult to work together. The child may also want to lay down or spread out as they work through their big feelings. The space needs to support that without interfering with instruction, especially centers play that requires freedom of movement. We recommend a minimum space of 3 foot by 3 feet for these reasons. The space should be semi-private, so children need to be able to disengage from classroom activity but still be easily seen by an adult. Avoid major walkways or busy areas. Putting a calming space immediately next to dramatic play, for example, might prove to be problematic. The calming space should not be placed in an area where logical consequences are often enforced or near a small group instruction table, as to avoid interference with instruction. Of course, always be sure to consider common safety hazards like access to plugs, unsecured furniture, and unsafe teacher materials like large scissors or laptops. Within the calming space, certain materials should be present. The furniture, the space should include low, large, soft seating such as a padded mat or a beanbag. Though rugs are encouraged, a rug alone is not sufficient to create a comfortable space. Another option is to include a sand timer or another visual timer. This can support the child and the teacher so that they can time and think through their use of strategies. Another option and things to include in calming space might be manipulatives. Calming space should have at least 3 of the following items. The objects should be colorful in varying sizes, prints, and textures. These items might include oil and water wheels or toys, squishy toys, books about feelings and emotions, stuffed animals, a safety mirror, or coloring materials. Pictured here is one example of how a calming space was created in a classroom. Here are some highlighted features that we just discussed. You can see the calming strategies poster. You can see there's some coloring materials behind the child. There's a stuffed animal with a sand timer. There's soft seating. There's a space for the teacher. And the child is holding a calming sensory toy. Let's pause here and post on the discussion board. Describe the calming space that is currently in your classroom. Is there anything that you would like to add or change? How have you introduced or used calming space with your students? Before you leave the discussion board, please like an idea that one of your colleagues has shared.